Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Simona Cotoni and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Ontario announces support hotline for people fleeing Ukraine. It will put Toronto on the map. Tory defends nearly $300 million cost of hosting World Cup games in 2026. Canadian Airlines among carriers asking appeal court to quash passenger rights rules. Liberals expected to raise taxes on big banks, insurance companies in budget. Ford defends public absence of top health official and sixth wave of pandemic. City mulling expanded hours for Toronto St. Lawrence Market. Ontario offering fourth COVID-19 vaccine dose to everyone 60 and up starting tomorrow. Canada relaxes temporary foreign worker program rules to address labor shortages. Siakam has 31 points, 13 boards, and Raptors clinch playoff spot with win over Hawks. So those were the headlines. Now let's jump right into the details. Ontario is offering emergency support to Ukrainians fleeing the Russian invasion as well as ways to connect them with jobs in the province once they arrive. Premier Doug Ford says he's hearing that Ontario can expect about 40,000 Ukrainians to arrive under a new emergency travel authorization, but adds that many people with family in the province have already arrived and are staying with relatives. The government announced that Ukrainian newcomers will receive access to provincial health coverage, emergency housing, and trauma-informed counseling.
Ukraine can attend publicly funded schools here in Ontario for free. To minimize the disruption to their education and to recognize the hardship they have just endured, we plan to offer trauma-informed counseling. We're hearing a guesstimated roughly 40,000. That can fluctuate, but we're ready. We welcome as many people from Ukraine as possible. We got to protect these people. What they're going through is absolutely staggering, and we need to open our arms, which we're doing, and we'll make sure they feel right at home, and everyone will welcome them with open.
City Council will decide this week whether it will spend more than $90 million hosting up to 5 games during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The expanded 48-team tournament has already been awarded jointly to Canada, the United States, and Mexico, with the FIFA expected to formally announce the 16 host cities next month. A staff report going before the council this week pegs the total cost of hosting games in Toronto at $290 million, with the provincial and federal governments picking up approximately 2/3 of the tab. If Toronto is chosen as a host city, staff say that the capital work at BMO Field would likely begin sometime in 2024. They say that the temporary expansion of the stadium to host additional fans would begin sometime in 2025. Canadian Airlines are asking a federal court of appeal panel today to quash the rules that bolstered compensation for passengers subjected to delayed flights and damaged luggage. Air Canada and Porter Airlines Incorporated, along with 16 other appellants that include the International Air Transport Association, has more than 300 member airlines, argue that payments required under the country's 3-year-old passenger rights charter violate international standards and should be rendered invalid. Some travelers and advocates say that the rules don't go far enough and allow for loopholes. The final message to Scotiabank shareholders from its president and CEO's annual address, a higher tax on country's biggest taxes is a tax on you. Brian Porter called a tax hike that's widely expected to be included in Thursday's budget a knee-jerk reaction that sends the wrong message to the global investment community. The financial industry is bracing for changes to its tax rate after the confidence and supply agreement between the Liberals and the NDP included a pledge to move forward on tax changes in the near term. CIBC, RBC, Scotiabank, and National Bank of Canada did not agree to an interview. TD Bank and BMO did not respond to a request for comment. Chief Medical Officer of Health Dr. Karen Moore had provided weekly updates about COVID-19 since assuming his role, often using them as an opportunity to tout the benefits of vaccination or remind the public of importance of keeping their distance and limiting contacts. The briefing, however, were suspended last month amid an improving viral picture, and it has now been 4 weeks since Ontario's top health official has addressed reporters. Ford, for his part, has described the resurgence as a little spike, as recently last week on Wednesday brushed aside suggestions that the province's hospital could be soon overwhelmed, highlighting recent investment the province has made to add additional beds. Medical experts, it should be noted, have said that there is not sufficient staff to manage many of those beds, making the capacity largely theoretical. The City of Toronto is once again looking at expanding the operating hours of St. Lawrence Market and is seeking public input to how to do so. The city, which owns the market, started a pilot project to expand hours in March 2020, but had to abandon it and further limit hours due to COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement, Toronto Centre Councillor Christine Wong-Tam said it makes sense to re-examine the market's hours now ahead of the busy summer season. Ontario is offering 4th doses of COVID-19 vaccine to all residents aged 60 and up beginning Thursday morning. The province says it will also open an eligibility for 4th doses to all Indigenous residents of province 18 and up at the same time. People can receive a 4th dose of vaccine at an interval of at least 5 months since their last COVID-19 vaccine shot. Canada has introduced measures to make it easier for Canadian employers to access temporary foreign workers. These measures announced today come in response to a nationwide labor shortage. Canada is experiencing a low unemployment rate and high job vacancies at the same time. One solution to address labor shortages is to bring in temporary foreign workers to fill jobs where there are no Canadians available to do the work. The changes coming into the effect for the temporary foreign worker program are meant to help Canada build its workforce, according to a government media release. Pascal Siakam had 31 points and 13 rebounds, and the Toronto Raptors clinched a playoff spot Tuesday with a 118-108 victory over the Atlanta Hawks. With their victory and the Cleveland Cavaliers' 120-115 loss in Orlando, the Raptors can finish no worse than 6th in the East. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Simona Cutoni, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Adios.